Artificial intelligence, robots, drones, driverless cars, 3D printers and the Internet of Things create a new landscape that will reshape manufacturing. It will also reshape waste management and recycling too. Worldwide, approximately 50 million tons of e-waste is generated annually, releasing high amounts of toxins into the environment. Toxins such as lead, mercury, cadmium, barium and beryllium, which are known to cause irreversible health problems. Recycling e-waste in the fourth industrial revolution is still a growing concept, and the opportunities in this space are limitless. Today on 48 Hours, we look at the careers in recycling. 48 Hours. Own your future. Innocent is 17 years old and passionate about recycling. He's a tree hugger who also loves listening to music. He wants to learn more about recycling e-waste because he believes there is huge opportunity in this space.
Right now, I'm enrolled at Giulio College and I'm doing electrical engineering, and it's my first semester. I'm interested in recycling and also being an environmentalist because I love taking care of my environment, making sure that it's beautiful. I'd love to learn about recycling and more creative ways of recycling old products into new products. Right now, I'm on my way to meet Giulio, my mentor. He's an e-waste specialist, so come with me guys, let's go.
Giulio works at Deso, a world-class accredited recycler in Johannesburg. He's responsible for operations and ensuring the safe and ethical recycling of e-waste. He's eager to share his knowledge of recycling with Innocent.
Thank you for having me today. My first question is, how did you get into recycling?
So I got into recycling because I worked for my father. Okay, he's the one who started this business, and it's a family-run business. Okay, when I was much younger, I actually used to work for pocket money in the holidays. So I actually did a little bit of dismantling, a little bit of sorting, very menial jobs, but it was just for my dad to sort of teach me a lesson to say, if you want something in life, you need to work for it. So I decided to come on full-time, try and study something that would be quite relevant to it, and jump on board and do my part.
What qualifications should I possess to practice recycling as a career?
You need a basic level of trading, okay? And if you have a matric, that's fine. Because the thing is, in this industry, you need to have a drive and a motivation to want to buy and sell at a higher price. Because that's essentially what we're doing here. The e-waste comes in, we add value to it, we strip it down, and we sell the fractions at higher prices. So if you understand the basic concept of that, you can come into this industry.
What course should I study at a university to work in this industry?
There is no e-waste qualification at the moment, but you do have e-waste associations that are working together with universities to actually come up with a curriculum so they can teach people specifically about waste streams and about e-waste specifically. So I would recommend that you look at courses related to the environment, okay, environmental courses with a focus on waste management. And by the time an e-waste course comes out, you'll at least be ahead.
Thank you very much for answering my questions. May you please show me some work experience?
Sure, no problem. So we're going to go from here into the yards. I'll give you some PPE, and I'll show you exactly what we do here at Deso.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go.
Coming up after the break, Innocent gets to experience what it's like to work in an e-waste recycling plant. Before the break, we met Innocent, who is passionate about recycling e-waste. We introduced him to his mentor Giulio, who's going to show him the ins and outs of having a career in this industry. Let's see how they're getting on.
So Innocent, where we are right now is where any individual or business or massive corporation can actually bring their e-waste to us and we can recycle it. So at this stage, we have a small business that's behind us at the moment. And what they're doing is they're going to be loading the e-waste into a drop bin. The forklift will take it, they'll weigh it on the scale, and we will disclose how much e-waste they brought to us. From there, if a client delivers their e-waste to us, we can actually buy it from them. So what will happen is, if we can encourage businesses and individuals to bring their e-waste to us, we give them a higher price. Whereas if it's collected, usually we don't actually pay them for it. But that also depends on the type of e-waste it is. So what's going to happen further to this, once it's weighed, it goes to our receiving yard, and from there it gets dismantled and processed. So where we are now right now is we're in the weighbridge room. Tshepo here, he controls all the weighbridges. So if an individual has just a boot full of e-waste, they'll weigh it on the small scales. If they have an entire vehicle full, like a bakkie or a trailer or something, he'll weigh on the small vehicle scale, weighbridge scale. And if he has a truck, it'll be on the big truck scale. So what he does here, he has all these monitors to show him where the trucks are and the weights per weighbridge. So in essence, what will happen is now the weighbridge operator gives the customer a slip. As you can see, it has our details on, where it is, your unique scale ticket number, what it is, it's e-waste, and how many kilograms you gave to me. You then take this to the office, they scan the barcode, and they pay you out, and you leave. Just like that.
The work experience for me was very exciting, was very fun. Giulio showed me around his workplace. We had a lot of fun, and it was very educational as well. I learned a lot.
So in essence, this here is our receiving yard. This is where pretty much everything happens. The e-waste that you saw that we bought on the weighbridge, what happens is, once we buy it, it comes into this receiving yard. Whether you are a small client or a big corporation, all of your electronic waste sits in this yard for 7 days. It sits in those bays over there. The reason we do that is because of the Second-Hand Goods Act or license, we have to hold it for 7 days as like a cool down period. And the reason for that is, like, let's say someone has stolen something, they can actually come to an electronic recycler and they can say, do you perhaps have this kind of e-waste? And they're free to look for it, so it's like a cool down period. That's why also only after 7 days we issue a certificate of destruction or a certificate of recycling. So from here, I'm going to take you through to the dismantling section to show you how we actually separate the electronics or the different fractions from one another before it goes to that downstream vendor. Cool, let's go. So what happens in here, this is our dismantling section. Okay, this is the heart of our business. The e-waste comes in from the receiving section. It gets brought here. As you can see, these were computer boxes, server boxes, switches, whatever, any kind of IT equipment. In fact, it's any e-waste. E-waste is anything with a plug or a battery, or powered by electricity, okay? So the unit gets put in front of the gentleman in front there, and he strips it down. These bins that you see in front of you, they're separation bins. So when I strip out the e-waste, I put every fraction or commodity in its respective bin. So in this bin, there's steel. In that bin there, there's just circuit boards. In this bin here, more steel, power supplies, and cable. Now each downstream vendor either specializes in steel, in aluminium, in cable granulation, and we specialize in the circuit boards. So in essence, now that you have a basic understanding of what we do here, how we receive it, how we hold it for a short period of time, and how we dismantle it, and we will process it soon, I'm going to give you a task to do. You're going to do what these guys here are doing. You're going to get to feel what it's like to feel with e-waste. You're going to choose the tool that you want to dismantle it yourself, and you're going to get to feel what the plastic, what the metal, what the circuit board feels like. And you'll be able to see also where the value is in e-waste. All right. Cool. So when Innocent arrived, I got to meet him. I did feel that he was a very good guy, and I think he was willing to learn. And I think that hopefully by the end of the day, he understands what the makeup of electronic waste is. The task that I have before you is these electronics here, okay? I would like you to actually strip them down. I would like you to grade it for me. So I want the steel one side, the plastic one side, and the circuit board another side. All right? And once you've done that, and see how well you're going to do it, you're welcome to use any kind of tool, be it a power tool or a hammer or a screwdriver, whatever's easier for you, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I'll come back a little bit later to check up on you to see how far you are. Is that cool? Great. Go for it.
Giulio gave me a dismantling task. I had to dismantle 3 objects. One object was a computer, a second object was a monitor, the third object was a radio. I had to dismantle all those objects, get components out of it, for example, your motherboard out of it, your power supply and everything, and cables from it. It was really fun, but exhausting as well.
Hi Innocent, how's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm done.
Good. How was it?
It was really tiring, but at first,
it's hard work though, right?
Yeah.
You see, manual labor is very difficult. You appreciate a lot what's actually going on, what
I
people are actually doing here every day. Cool.
So I've compiled everything in different. This was the computer.
Yeah.
I dismantled it. This is the part of it as well. And I just put everything in different. This is the metal, the plastic, the wires over here, and this is the
circuit board.
The circuit board, yeah.
Cool.
And I got the copper as well.
That's the copper.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the only thing I would have done differently is I would keep all the metals together. So what you would do is you would actually just get a hammer, you would smack this piece of plastic off, separate it one by one. But you are right, steel, plastic, circuit board, cable and power supply, and that is your hazardous fraction. But I think that you've got the job done, okay? You have separated it correctly, and from this can now go to the processing plant. We can shred that, we can extract the precious metals off-site by another downstream vendor. This can go to a plastic recycler, a metal recycler, and someone that handles hazardous items.
So did I do good?
You did good.
Okay.
Good. Good job. In essence, I'm actually so glad that you came to us with this proposal to showcase yourself, showcase our company, and showcase what we're doing here. And I think you've taken the first step, which is actually the biggest step, to finding out what we do here. And I believe that now that you have the knowledge of what we do, you can further take that to your friends, your family, companies, whatever. You can press on with this message and show as many people as possible why it is so important. You've taken the first step, and I commend you for that.
It's the end of my first day in 48 hours, and I'm feeling very exhausted, but as well as very excited. I can't wait for day 2. I hope it'll be exciting as today. So yeah.
Coming up after the break, Innocent gets to experience what it's like to run a business in the recycling industry. Welcome back. Before the break, we met Innocent, a 17-year-old student who is passionate about recycling e-waste. We introduced him to mentor Giulio, who showed him the ins and outs of working in an e-waste recycling plant. Now we introduce him to entrepreneurs Tshepo and Sithembiso, who own their own recycling plant called K1 Recycling in Katlehong. First, let's catch up with Innocent to see how he felt about his first day on the job.
I've had an amazing first day in 48 hours, and just when I thought it couldn't get any better, 48 hours took me up with a real go-getter. I'm on my way to meet Tshepo, who runs a recycling plant, and I have an idea to pitch to him, and I really hope that he likes it, so come to me.
48 hours went behind the scenes to give our candidate the lowdown on who he's about to meet. Tshepo had urgent business matters to attend to, but left us in the capable hands of his business partner Sithembiso, who gave us some background info into the business of recycling.
K1 Recycling is a waste management solution. So what we do waste management for the public and for other companies. The company started back in 2011. So right now we're a little over 9 years now. And it was started by a name called Tshepo Mazibuko. That's the guy who started the company. When he started back in 2009, he started as a waste picker himself. So he was the reclaimer, the guy that you see pulling the trolley on the street. So that was him back then. And when we met back in 2011, he was already a waste transporter. So he saw an opportunity that, why do these guys need to travel so far to go and sell their material? Why can't he just provide a service of transporting them to wherever they were going to sell the material? But then when we registered the company in 2011, that's when we wanted to be a buyback center in the township to prevent people from going far. It saves them a lot of time and it saves them money, because when they come here, it's closer and they get a better value for their waste. Some people, they see us as a dirty work, so it's a dirty job. Recycling is a dirty job. But what you don't realize is that the very stretched jean that you are wearing is made of plastic. Some fragments of that jean are made of plastic, and we are the ones who make that plastic. And you can be part of it. There is a lot of money that is in recycling. There is a lot of circular economy that we are promoting, and we advise a whole lot of young individuals, especially in this critical moment where we're in this time where the unemployment rate is very high. So if you are still sitting at home and you're hoping to get employed, I advise you to think otherwise, because recycling, you get to be your own boss, and you get to bring value to your family, to your community, and to the country at large.
Tshepo arrived just in time for us to wrap up our behind-the-scenes interview with Sithembiso, and Innocent couldn't wait to pick his brain about the business opportunities available in recycling.
Thank you for having me today. My first question is, what inspired you to start your own business?
It was because of unemployment. You know, I couldn't find work, I was searching everywhere. And when I learned that actually from waste we could make some money, and when I looked into our environment in the township, it actually boggled me to say, why am I struggling if my environment is so dirty? So it was basically seeing the environment being dirty to say, why then am I suffering if my environment is like this? So that inspired me to say, I have to start something, I have to do something, and I realized that you can actually not only clean the environments, but benefit from cleaning the environment. So that's what got me into this business.
What sets you apart from your competition?
What set me apart is that I would buy your material, but not take your bag. So that really made my services to be required by a lot of people.
What were the challenges you faced when you started the company?
Wow, there was a lot of challenges. Firstly, recycling is not something that, as especially as black people, that we were familiar with. And there was a lot of challenges like transport. You know, we could only collect from the township, but we have to go and sell in town. So a lot of us didn't have transport to take to town. And even today, you still see people traveling a long distance to go and sell their material in town, because in town, that's where people get better prices. So that was one of the challenges. But the one that was the biggest is that we didn't have much knowledge. You know, we just knew how to collect, but we didn't know that what is what, like how do we separate the material. So we'd always have a problem, because we'd pick up waste and mix everything, and when we go to try and sell, we find that now you're told that yes, they're buying waste, but there is waste that they cannot buy. So that was a very big challenge, because you wasted your time, your energy collecting this waste, and at the end of the day you are told that they cannot buy it. So yeah, there was quite a lot of challenges that we had.
May you give me advice with starting my own business in this career?
Okay, the advice that I'll give you, which is advice that I always give young people, is that you are actually, the first thing that you need to know, you are your own business. So meaning you have to look into yourself. Are you fit enough? By fit, I mean, are you disciplined? You know, will you be able to take risks? Are you not short-tempered? Are you able to work with other people? So before you can get into working with other people or with any product, what I've learned is that you need to take care of yourself. So that's my advice, to say, look, you've got what it takes, but you just need to get your priorities straight.
Now that Innocent knows more about the business side to recycling, he's ready to pitch his idea to Tshepo.
My idea is it's related to recycling. So I was thinking about metal refinery. Metal refinery is not big. Actually, it's not in South Africa. We don't have metal refinery in South Africa. Usually our metal that we have in South Africa gets exported into different countries, then it gets refined in those countries, then it comes back to us, then there's a trade that's happening within the borders and harbors as well. So my plan is to have a metal refinery here in South Africa, which will cut the usual expenses, because it costs so much for metal to be exported and imported. So metal refinery here in South Africa would be a first step. It would be the first metal refinery ever to be launched in South Africa. Refining metals takes a lot of machines, takes a lot of power and big machines.
Yes.
So I found a very sustainable and profitable way to refine metals.
Okay.
It is to use organic molecules instead of using hydrochloric acid and chlorine, which are commonly used. I don't want to use those because they pollute the air, and so I'm trying to prevent environmental damage.
Yes.
And also trying to cut the costs. Using organic molecules is much cheaper than using hydrochloric acid and chlorine at the same time. So that's my profitable way to refine metals.
Okay, oh, brilliant. Sounds great. But maybe before we go further, you know, as a businessman, I'd like to know how, if we were to assist you, how will this benefit K1? What is it that maybe if, let's say we buy into idea, will bring change or maybe help K1 to expand?
So K1 will benefit by taking a new venture.
Okay.
You'll be experiencing something new instead of like recycling papers, the usual stuff that you recycle. I'm bringing metal still in my own company, so that's a new venture for you. And plus, I'll be learning from you, the more experienced person, on how to run a business and where to take it after. So yeah, both of us will be benefiting from this.
So it's a win-win situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, as I said, I think it's a very exciting idea. And it's something that as K1, as you know, you are pitching this idea. There's a lot of conferences, there's a lot of, you know, like universities that I get to engage with. And I think it's something that we can look into and maybe sit down together, maybe even get to meet some associations to say how can we make this a reality. So I think for now, let's try to work on it and see where it takes us. But yeah, I think it's something interesting that would like to be part of, to helping you to making this idea become a reality. So can you shake on that?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We've come to the end of a jam-packed 48 hours, but we'd like to do something that makes life just a wee bit better for Innocent.
All right, my brother Innocent.
Yes.
It was lovely spending a day with you. I hope you learnt a lot from being with us and seeing the operation of K1 Recycling. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did enjoy it a lot. Thank you for everything.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I did learn some few stuff, yeah.
No, that's brilliant, that's brilliant. You know what? I think Tshepo and I, we enjoyed having you around as well. And in addition to that, we would like you to be with us for a month or so. So we have a project that we will be initiating. That project includes activating the schools, bringing awareness about recycling. And that project is going to start at the beginning of next month. So we will give you a shout, and then we would love for you to be part of us when we visit the schools, so that you can have a feel of what exactly happens when you educate people about recycling and be a partaker of that. Would you like that?
I would like that a lot.
That would be great. On top of that, I want to give you these study guides about recycling. So study them, learn everything that you have to learn about recycling, so that when we go to the schools next month, and then you already are familiar with everything that's happening there.
Okay.
Once again, my brother, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you for everything.
to K1
Thank you for
Recycling.
everything.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Cheers.
A big thank you to Giulio, who gave me the experience of e-waste yesterday. And a very big thank you to Tshepo and Sithembiso for giving me the opportunity to join them on their work field, on their workplace. And also biggest thank you to 48 Hours for giving me the chance to meet those two, Giulio and Tshepo and Sithembiso. Thank you very much for letting me meet them.
If you want to be part of the 48-hour experience, contact us on our social media page. If you're interested in more careers, go to our YouTube page and get inspired.